Ever coming strong. But that's when I look to the mirror and I told myself this was hey, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. And I say, this little light of mine, ooh yeah, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let me tell you how I got this far and all the pain I had to bear. Used to slip off to a country at the top to at the bottom. Life so fair, and that's how it is. Hopeless and useless, that's what they say. Grandma used to tell me, no room for failure. Every day a new drama. As I sit back and reminisce on the drama. We used to have shoes, no laces, bread, no tea. That was how it used to be. The story's different now, and I'm a witness to a better life. And you say, I'm gonna let it shine. Ooh, this little light of mine, this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I know you don't feel you have a reason to shine. You're giving up because of what you're going through. There's no better way to explain to you than to tell you the world has a place for you. I know you're a star and you were meant to. Tell all of your neighbors and your friends too.
Yes, now we move on to the next segment of Sunrise this morning, and this time around we're looking at the issue of amnesty. The issue of amnesty is one that's been contested by different sectors of the economy, different individuals within the society, and political parties have also taken position on the issue of amnesty. And we're talking about the amnesty that was granted recently, that was being looked at recently. Some people have said that the Boko Haram should be granted amnesty so that it will bring them to the table and enable Nigerians to understand what their concerns are, and also enable them to align with the rest of the Nigerian people. Since 2009, there's been a series of attacks, violent one by the sect Boko Haram, and it has left thousands of Nigerians dead, and non-Nigerians inclusive, because we remember the bombing of the United Nations office in Abuja. Then we look at all of this, and some individuals and groups have been saying that just as the federal government of Nigeria has done with the people in the Niger Delta, that there should be an amnesty for Boko Haram. It has divided the society to some extent. To discuss this with us this morning, we have Mr. Afam Ani, who's a legal practitioner on the show.
Thank you very
Welcome.
much.
And then on my left-hand side, we've got Dr. Wega Aribishogo, who is a publisher of Nigerian Democrat newspaper. And sitting next to him is Mr. Sam Emefiele, who's a public affairs commentator.
Thank you.
Now, let's start with the legal perspective to this issue of amnesty. Is it something that we can say it can be considered legally to have amnesty for Boko Haram?
Yes, amnesty, by way of definition, can be looked at from two perspectives. One is a general pardon for one who has committed a crime. It can also be looked at as a period within which somebody can admit a crime or hand over an illegal weapon and be granted pardon or be freed from prosecution. In other words, ordinarily, when you commit a crime, you should face prosecution. But for one reason or the other, the state may decide to allow you not to face prosecution to achieve one or two objectives, which we will look into. For now, we are looking at the issue of Boko Haram. Do they deserve amnesty or not? And for me, I will say, we need to look at the objectives of the sect based on what we have been told. Some people said Boko Haram stands for opposition to anything Western education. Some others said their objective is to Islamize Nigeria. Nigeria as a nation, as we all know, is a secular state. In other words, Section 38 of the Nigerian Constitution permits every individual to practice whatsoever religion that he chooses to. That is why we say there's freedom of thought, freedom of conscience, and freedom of religion. Now, in this sect, if at all what we hear is what they believe in, to Islamize Nigeria, for me as an individual and as a lawyer, I think it's foolhardy, because the Constitution is very clear that this is a secular state and you cannot force anybody. You can't force anybody to practice your own religion.
Okay, Mr. Hani, can you draw any similarity whatsoever between what some people have described as violent militants in the Niger Delta and violent sect called Boko Haram? Can you draw any similarity whatsoever?
Yes, I will try to do that within the context of the word violence. The Niger Delta militants had an objective. One, they were asking for resource control. Two, environmental management. Three, infrastructural development. And maybe four, employment opportunities for their people, because they believe that the oil that is used, the revenue from oil that is used to develop the country, is coming from their backyard, and they deserve to benefit from it. And because they were not getting what they felt they are entitled to, they resorted to violence, bombing some oil installations and some form of kidnapping of oil workers, including Nigerians and foreigners alike. For the Boko Haram sect, they have, in their own mission, decided to bomb churches, bomb motor parks, police stations, the United Nations office in Abuja. So, in terms of violence, you will see that one particular group, their own violence is targeted at inflicting some economic pain on the nation, so that Nigeria as a country will be forced to listen to them. In terms of the Boko Haram group, for me, they have targeted more of innocent people who may even be part of their own religious group, because when you bomb a motor park, you are not sure that you won't find a Christian or a Muslim there. Anybody can be at the motor park at any point in time. So, to the extent that they employed some level of violence where there's a similarity, that is where that similarity ends. Yes. In terms of objective, one is more economical, the other is more religious.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, let me come to you, Dr. Aribishono. Now, do you agree with the federal government that the Boko Haram sect is a faceless group?
Yes. Ordinarily, if you look at the activities of Boko Haram, you realize that these are suicide bombers who have not shown their faces. And in dealing with such characters, you may need to want to identify those who are perpetrating the crime. The federal government said they cannot be dealing with ghosts. I share the view, because those who have been masterminding this violence have not come out to say this is why they are doing it, except that we have jihad, we have Al-Qaeda, we have there are international connections here and there. And their sponsors are not even deemed it fit to come up to say, yes, this is our demand. This is why we are doing this. So to me, they are terrorists. And when you are talking of terrorism, is something that every